So this is the event that the Mitsurugi dream was alive in. Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. This is actually really amazing because we got to see another regional for this region, and their community loves reaching out. They're so excited. They're so adamant with how great the community has been growing for them to have the chance to play the game. They have 101 duelists show up for this regional, which is absolutely spectacular. But this regional also has been viewed by the community as one of the tipping points out of the weekend. It was viewed as a point in which Mitsurugi just exploded into the tournament scene again. And there's also a couple of other events from the weekend. This isn't just going to be the poster child for, Mitsurugi's return to the game, but it was a pretty clear indicator that some people had figured out, some ideas that were possibly working. Now, yes, that is 4 Mitsurugi variants smashing down the top cut. I am not surprised to see Mitsu doing anything nearly as well as it did here. Actually, I am a little bit surprised, but there's also multiple variations of Mitsurugi. The one deck list we don't have is a Mitsu Rizal list, which, to be honest, it's probably the most copy and paste of the list that's missing. We also had 3 Vanquish Souls grinding through the top cut, which is also kind of interesting. VSK9 is definitely the challenger in the room, but if you don't have to worry about the gridlock of Yummy, and these two are just kind of going at it, yeah, Mitsurugi kind of gets a free win. We also had a single Draco Tail duelist overcoming a lot of the adversity that was built up for this. So I quite love how many options appear to be available within the course of this format. So let's pass on over to those deck lists. You guys obviously support these cool lists because it's very interesting to see. So this is going to be pure Mitsurugi actually grinding through the competition, which is quite impressive, honestly. Now, we are playing the Dogmatica good stuff in here. Using the Dogmatica package to definitely cycle through the extra deck to get you some extra pieces. I mean, to be honest, you're usually using the Herald to dump, kind of clear things up. You can also dump the Frigid to get some extra cycling power, which I think does work out. You also do see we get a straight main deck, the Great Purification, which, I mean, hey man, if you're taking care of, having all the options for you, it's good. Also, Droll has kind of fallen out of the format a little bit. It's not necessarily a good thing to see, but if I know I'm not going to get drolled on an activation of Preparation of Rites or an activation of a Dear Servant, I'm going to have the biggest shit grin on my face, and I'm going to be so happy just to know that I can be able to cycle through. Also, one of the other interesting tech choices here is the inclusion of the Instant Fusion to actually bring out the Millennium Eyes here, just to give you that layer of protection, because I don't want to lose to a stupid hand trap, do you? Like, the whole point of Millennium Eyes has always been to control those stupid hand traps that could potentially ruin your day, and I think that's really good. Also, side decking the Impulses, I think, is a fine choice here. You just need to be able to control what's going on with the opponent, and I think that's a pretty solid thing. We've also got DD Crows on standby. We have Drolls to rip through anything that the opponent might be trying to do. And also, good old Super Polys clean up on aisle 9, just to make sure that, anything the opponent's doing, we can very easily, rip apart and do our job. But I think this list is a good example to seeing pure Mitsurugi doing its job. Speaking of shifting around in Mitsu, so this is our second place list. This is actually playing Pot of Extravagance in the deck. Quite extravagant, if you ask. Actually, this is kind of cool because you actually have the draw power here to dig you a little bit further in. I do see that the difference between first and second place is actually just a Wozu in the main deck. And also, this duelist went as far as to be the one that had to side deck the Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. We've seen in the past the Ghost Reaper is definitely a card. Like, it's either hit or miss. I know that's such a BS answer to say, but it's really good when it hits. It's awful when it whiffs, but at least it's a zombie tuner monster, right? Yeah, too bad nothing gets crap down here about that. But you have a lot of key targets to be able to, you know, take care of any rogue deck that's doing its job. Also have thrust to pull into, you know, which of your trap cards that you're going to need. Ooh, this is a copy and paste, except for this. I see we're actually playing the chaotic elements. Nobody really gives this card credit for being able to pop a card as long as you got 3 or more Pyro Ender Aquas in your graveyard. I don't know why people don't ever realize that this card actually does that, but there's a reason why this card ends up being very, very strong. We are actually choosing to main deck the Shifter, which I think works out fine for what you're wanting to see. We're also going with double case of the Canaan, so actually they went with 2 case, 1 chaotic elements. I think this is fine. If you want to be a little bit more techie and try to like start messing around like pure ratios, then this is a clear example that actually works out for you. So I'm not all that surprised to see that that actually was something that they were able to work with for this. Ooh, we have more Mitsurugi. I'm actually more impressed on how much Mitsurugi we actually had. Now this list is going with the double pot of extra. Man, it really makes me excited to see just how good pot of Extrav actually worked out for this event for these duelists. Except for, once again, first place just didn't need Extrav. Especially if you're choosing to play 2 of it, it's a some of the time, but not all of the time. Tends to be our favorite answer here. Also see we have the Night Sword Serpent showing up as a 1-of in here. You gotta love the advantage. Wozu once again doing its job, going with the triple pre-prep here. Side deck, once again, those Droll and Lockbirds. If you're not respecting Droll and Lockbird right now, this is another key example of, you know, what you're going with. This build also had access to the Chimera Tech Mega Fleet. Crystron's just such an annoyance, and being able just to bump out, you know, especially if you toss something in the EDM, congratulations, you know, you took care of those problematic cards. Woo! We have more VS. Now I see this list, main deck. The fact that all of these duelists were main decking the Shifter is crazy to me that they got away with this, because that just proves like how good this card can be. I was going the 1 Borger, 1 Kaiser Varius. I missed 2 Borger. And you see here, we're not experimenting around with the number of case of Canine. We just straight slapped the 3 into the deck. We wanted to roll with the best results that we could get, and I don't think that's too bad. Once again, also for side decking, hey look, it's the triple Droll and Lockbird doing our job. We also got the Phantasmes to further dig. Also see that we have the Retaliating Seas, and hello there can only be one. How are you? You definitely do your job. Also, still had access to the Paradise Smasher in the main deck just to be able to smash through, take care of anything that you want to see. But this list looks very, very, very copy and paste what you expected. Oh, well, I see we were a little bit spicy today. We're playing 41 cards. Once again, every Vanquish Soul deck was choosing to play the Shifter. That's nuts. Now this list wanted the 2nd Borger, which I can respect, man. I do think that Borger is a good card for what you want to have. So we actually have this built in, which is good. Going with double case of the Canine, which, okay, sure. We also had 2 Perulias built in the main deck, triple Fua. Okay, I also see we have access to Perulia and 2 copies of the Meowls, getting the job done, but everything else for this looks consistent. It's good to see how copy and paste Vanquish Soul is, and you know, oh, your tech choices are so copy and paste. They really are, man. Like, it is it's nuts. And then we've got Draco Tail for you. First thing I see is you got the triple super polymerization built into the main deck. Who doesn't love board breaking the opponent's whole field with just a simple slam down of a super polymerization? Because that's exactly what you get all advertised on this. We also have Dark World No Mores in the side deck. We have Thrust to pull into the dimensional barrier. Yeah, we got a lot of the pieces that I expected to see. Also, Ghost Stroker in the main deck is an interesting choice, that's for sure. But what do you guys think about the breakdown for this regional? Please leave a comment down below. Tell me what you guys think, and I will see your beautiful faces back here in a day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.